Hi, welcome to Craft Corner. I'm Joy Everhart. Tonight we've got a startling good announcement for you tonight from the fossil department. You'll see, it's fantastic. We've got an array of things to show you, and we have some guests here that found them. And we also have someone from the Northwest Missouri State College. So don't go away, we'll be right back. Hi, I'd like to introduce you now to David Esterly, who is from Missouri, Northwest Missouri State University. I got it right this time. And you are professor of biology and creator of mammals, birds, and reptiles. I cheated. I had that written down.
Long title.
It's a long title. And you're here to tell us about some really startling things that have been found, right?
Well, I surely am, Joy, and I thank you for that introduction. You know, I think today most of the public they're really quite awed by big predators. And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight, specifically some of those large terrestrial carnivorous mammals such as tigers and lions and wolves and bears. And when I say bears, we kind of have a specific fossil in mind. So we hope that the audience is going to be interested in learning about bears.
Yeah,
okay?
This is really quite exciting, you know, really is.
Well, I have some notes here. I'm going to kind of be following here because I want to kind of stick to the topic, but we do have kind of a world-class specimen here, a fossil, and so I do want to be sure that it's all stated correctly. But anyway, it's sort of my pleasure to announce the recent discovery in the Kansas River by Mr. Clotus Hunt, the complete and well-preserved fossilized right humerus of the extinct giant short-faced bear. Its scientific name is Arctodus simus, and for any of the scientists who happen to be looking on or whatever.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it surely is. You know how the biologists and scientists are. It's a male individual. It lived during the Pleistocene, which was during the Ice Age, during about the last 2 million years, and I guess the Ice Age ended approximately 8 to 10,000 years ago. The scientists don't completely agree. Now, of significance is that this humerus is the largest ever recorded for this bear, and I should mention the humerus is the upper arm bone, leg bone, of course, upper leg bone for other animals that are on all fours. Specifically, this bone is 25 3/4 inches total length, or being more specific, it is 654 millimeters total length.
That's what's in front of us here. Right?
That is what is in front of us. That's this bone right here. Now, the original record holder, which happened to be a specimen from Nebraska, not quite as large, 24.8 inches total length, and a little bit more specific as far as millimeters. Scientists always like, you know, the millimeters, 633 millimeters. And not only is it the largest, but there's a few other things I think that are even more significant, and I want to mention them. And I think is that the giant short-faced bear was the most powerful predator known of all the Ice Age animals of North America. In fact, it was the largest terrestrial mammalian carnivore known to ever exist upon the planet Earth. And that's really saying a lot.
Yeah.
And so that really means that this humerus, this bone right here, is the largest of a carnivorous land mammal ever found anywhere. And to even make it a little bit more exciting is that there's a possibility that this bone came from a male bear that wasn't quite full grown.
Oh my.
That possibility exists. I'll just stop there, okay? Some more information about the giant short-faced bear. It was quite unique because it had a cat-like head. And that was because it did kind of have a short face. It had a wide muzzle, very long legs, and a relatively short body.
Now, I think we have a picture of Clotus beside a picture we have here that we can show.
We surely do. Okay. We surely do. It was a very strange bear, and it was very fleet-footed, and it's what we call a cursorial predator, meaning that it basically ran down all of its prey for food and capturing animals. And so you can see that it's a little bit different than certainly.
Now he's holding the bone there in the picture.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is a bone, and that's the approximate location for where the bone would be located in the animal if it was real. While we're looking at that bear, some more information concerning its enormous size. At the shoulders is about anywhere from, I really should say, 5 to 6 feet. And then when it was upright, anywhere from 11 to 12 feet.
Oh.
Yeah, we're getting up there. But then if it really stretched out, approximately up to about 14 feet. So that's about, what, 4 feet above a basketball hoop.
Oh,
so that's really getting up there.
Yes.
The estimated weight is about a ton up to 2,400 pounds. Now, I think to put that in perspective, we really should compare that to the largest living carnivores today. And there's not complete agreement among the scientists, either the polar bear or the Kodiak bear. But regardless, the largest known specimens are about 10 feet, and this is based upon stretched skin, so you're already exaggerating a little bit. Weight, both of those, whichever is the largest living carnivore today, is less than 1,500 pounds. So obviously we're dealing with an animal that's certainly considerably larger. I mentioned it was a male. There's sexual dimorphism, and this bear, like other bears, sexual dimorphism, don't get thrown by the long words, it simply means that there's a size difference between males and females. And the males were approximately 15 to 20% larger than the females. Something else of interest is the fact that there's quite a bit of geographic variation in these bears. For example, at the Rancho La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, this is one of the areas having the greatest fossil concentrations in the world. They've found this bear, and the skeleton really is a little bit smaller than some of those found in the Yukon, up in Alaska, and also in the Midwest. In fact, the two largest humeri known any place are actually from the Midwest. The largest is this one from Kansas, and the second largest one then from Nebraska. As far as its distribution, it's been found over 40 sites throughout the New World, specifically from Alaska going southward throughout Canada, the United States, south to Mexico. In the United States, various scattered localities, except the southeastern United States, and we don't know why it hasn't been found there. More specific, in the Midwest, there's at least 4 records for Kansas, including this one, at least 4 for Missouri, including one we just recently found up in our area, Maryville, at Northwest Missouri State University, at least 1 record for Iowa, and at least 9 records for Nebraska. As far as its time span, the earliest records are in the early Pleistocene, somewhere between 0.9 and 1.5 million years ago. And then apparently it died out about 12,500 years ago. That's the most recent date then for that animal. Food habits, the giant short-faced bear, undoubtedly it ran down large grazing animals, bison, muskox, ground sloth, and we have some of those bones here that'll be discussed a little bit later on. Elk, caribous, the extinct stag moose, even young proboscideans, meaning young mammoths, mastodons, and maybe deer if it accidentally stepped on one, just to give you an idea as to its large size. And because of its great size and fierceness, some scientists have suggested that, you know, the reason that the earliest humans didn't reach North America any earlier is simply because they were eaten by this gigantic guy, and I think we have a picture right over there of humans and that bear. Last, I want to say plans are being made to make several casts of this humerus and distributed to local paleontology museums, and I think this is an excellent example of cooperation between the non-professional and the professional, and certainly Clovis Hunt is to be applauded and congratulated on his efforts and his cooperation in this endeavor. So everyone's excited about it, and I think the public overall will certainly benefit from this.
This is great. This is exciting news. Now we have a picture of a early Indian, supposedly the size of this bear. That's fantastic, isn't it? How, if he could get that close.
Right, and again, this is sheer speculation, but that story is circulated among both the paleontologists and the archaeologists, and so it's anyone's guess as to whether that's the truth or not. But anyway, it's an interesting story, right?
Well, it's terrific. David, we've got to take a break, and then we're going to have Clovis on here. Thank you for being with us, and this announcement's great.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I'd like to introduce you now to Clovis Hunt. Now, you actually found the bone, right?
Yes.
That must have been exciting.
It turned out not to be a normal day on the river.
Now, you are amateur. I mean, this is something you do for a hobby. You have a real job somewhere else.
Yes, I worked for Santa Fe Railroad as a machinist down in Kansas City, Kansas. And as a hobby, me and my brother, we hunt Ice Age fossils on the Kansas River. And he got me started back in 1988, and kind of beginner's luck, the first day out I find a bison skullcat, and I've been at it ever since.
That kind of hooked you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's don't ignore Gary. Gary, you started this then before Clovis did?
Right, yeah, 87 when I first started out.
Why this particular aspect of fossil hunting?
Well, how I got started in it, I was down at the river fishing, and anyway, the fish wasn't biting.
don't a lot
yeah,
of times.
right. So I decided to go out, walk along the sandbars and stuff, and started finding little fragments of bones and whatever, and that's what got me started at it right there. That's the beginning of the fossil hunting there.
That's great. Well, let's talk, I mean, Dr. David kind of covered this pretty good a while ago. This is the bone that is made such history here tonight.
Yes.
I thank you for doing that here on my show. I appreciate
You're quite
it.
welcome.
Let's go into some of the other things you've found, because they're nice specimens you've got here.
Yeah, most of them, especially in the Kansas River, we find that they are real preserved real good because of mineralization in the water. The Kansas River seems to do a lot better job than most of the rivers around the Midwest as far as preserving the specimens. And for instance, this one, which is a muskox, and of course today this animal still lives. It lives up around the Arctic.
Okay.
And but this was actually found in the Kansas River about a year ago. And
Was it intact as you see it now?
just the way I see it now, yeah, right. But all I seen of the muskox was this portion right here, and the rest of it was covered with sand and rock.
Now that could look like a rock.
Yeah, it
couldn't
looked, it looked like a a log at first. Then I started moving the sand and the rock away, and then I felt this right here, and I said, well, that's not wood.
That gave it away.
But anyway, I eventually dug it up, picked it up, and I knew I had something. I believe this is the third in the state of Kansas that's been found. Gary has found one also that was donated to KU Museum of Natural History. So we're quite proud of
Yes.
this.
Now let's let Gary describe the ones on this side, and
Yeah.
I'm going to let you grab some things back here you wanted to show.
Okay.
Now let's do the one in front here first.
This is a bison antiquity. It roamed here during the Ice Age. The weight of them probably go, what, 800, 900 pounds, maybe a little larger than that. Then a giant ground sloth.
Now you're going to have to hold that up. so
Okay,
that
this
you
is
see
a giant ground sloth humerus. And this arm bone, fits right here.
it. Okay.
And anyway, the way I found this, I was walking around along the edge of the sandbar, and just very little bit of the bone was showing, period. And when I started digging, I seen more of the bone. It just kept getting bigger. And anyway, when I took it out, it was split right here, I'd say about an inch. And KU done the casting of it. And before they had to, or done the casting, they had to repair the bone here. And anyway, they done that, and it was a pretty unique find because very few of these things are even found, part of the ground sloths or whatever.
Someone's called in and asked, who owns the bones now? I mean, are they?
Right now, all the fossils that we have in the Kansas River is in our collection, the Hunt Brothers collection. And eventually we're hoping to have a museum, if we live long enough, to display our finds over the years.
Clovis, they could always display your bones too.
But there is going to be some casts. There's going to be 3 casts made available right now. One's going to KU Museum of Natural History. One is going to Lincoln, Nebraska University at Lincoln, and the other one, of course, will be going to Northwest Missouri State at Marysville. But right now, the collection belongs to us, and as far as we know, we're not planning on, donating this right now. But I imagine eventually either it'll go into our museum, or it will be donated to a museum, a credible museum.
Okay. Did you grab something up there to show?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, here we have
This I would have sworn was a rock. I mean, I'm sorry, that just looks like a rock.
Well, what this is a tooth, one tooth, and it weighs 11 and a half
That's
pounds.
one tooth.
One tooth.
Okay.
This would be the top of the tooth right here, and I'll turn it over, and you can see where the roots were. Okay, this was actually embedded into the jawbone.
Oh my.
And this is off of a woolly mammoth. Okay, and this is also interesting on this one, is I was going on the river one day just to check the water level. And, well, the water was down more than I anticipated. And I go to the river, and this was just laying right out in the open on the sandbar.
Oh, wow.
So I felt real lucky that day.
Yeah, that you have to
And
say
we
is
have
lucky.
another one over here.
Okay, you reached that, and we have a call. Can we help you, caller? Hello? Hello? Well, let's try it again in a minute. Let's see what this is.
What this is a mastodon tooth. This would be the upper part of it here, and this is actually part of the jawbone still intact with the tooth.
Now, this looks like a tooth. I
Right.
mean, this one is too big for me to comprehend. I mean, this I can understand.
Now, these are the roots you see right here, and this would be the top, the chewing part right here.
Now they're really worn down too.
Yeah, this is a pretty old animal, this one was.
Okay, that's
And
fascinating.
We have one here also is a mastodon tooth which had completely come out of the jawbone, and this was really an old animal. Here you can see here where it was really worn down. Of course, this would be the top and this would be the roots right here.
Okay, so it would go this way. Okay.
No,
Would go this way?
no.
No. This way, okay. So this would be then, okay.
This is the top part, and these are the roots that go actually into
Into
the
the
jawbone.
jawbone,
And I
okay.
can hold this one up like this and kind of get a better idea. Okay, this is the jawbone, and this is the top part of the tooth. This is the roots, and this is the top of the tooth.
Oh, okay.
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 Now,
Well, we're running out of time. Let's hurry up and show the last one here.
okay,
real quick.
this is a tooth cap that I found last summer on the river. It's actually an adult mastodon tooth cap that had been broken off. It's not all there, but pretty much the length of it's there, but the underneath, of course, there's no roots or anything like that left.
Okay. Well, we've got to go to a break, but when we come back, I want you to tell our audience at home how they can find some of this stuff.
Okay.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. They've set some more stuff up here now. What is this?
What this is a stag moose, which is an extinct moose. This also was back during the Ice Age. And so far, this is the best specimen as far as the stag moose, but my brother, he found a stag moose skull without the antlers back about 3 or 4 weeks
wow.
ago. So,
Do these have to be cleaned up or anything when you
yes,
find them?
we started out using 1 part Elmer's glue and 5 parts water at first, but we found that wasn't good enough. It wasn't stabilizing the fossil as well as we would like. So we went 2 parts, maybe sometimes 3 parts Elmer's glue and 5 parts water. And of course we don't like to use varnish, but in some cases we have to, because what's important is we get the fossil preserved and get it stabilized so that it remains with us.
Now, I don't want to make any less of the other things you found, but we need to talk about the Gem and Mineral Show. And that's going to be March the 19th from 9 to 8 from 9 in the morning to 8 p.m. and Saturday, March 20th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday, March 21st, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's down at the Executive Park there at 435 in Front
Right.
Street. Now, are you going to have some of these things on display?
Yes, what you've seen tonight is just a partial of our collection. It's just a small part of our collection, and we'll have our whole collection at the March Greater Kansas City Gem and Mineral Show, March 19th, 20th, and 21st, along
Okay.
with some Indian artifacts.
Okay. Gary, are you
Yes.
going to be telling people how to get interested in this? How to start doing this
Well, yeah,
themselves?
over the past 2 or 3 years, we've, told people how we found it, and we share that with other people, because we enjoy it, and we would like to see other people get out and
Now,
enjoy
you,
it too.
you belong to a club?
No, this is just me and my brother.
You
We
just,
get out and do it, yeah.
So are you interested in starting a club? I bet you've got some people out there being
Well,
interested in it.
It's hard to say on that,
Kind of nice to have your name on this collection, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
There are ways that people can learn to do this, though, isn't there? I mean,
Oh,
there
yeah,
are several
yeah.
organizations in this. So this is a conglomerate of several clubs, right?
Right, yeah.
I think Ace Rock is the place to find out more information. Can they look that up in the phone book
Right,
and call
yeah.
them? Because
Right,
they've done a lot to help the Gem and Mineral or the Earth Sciences Club.
Right,
I
right.
keep getting corrected on that a lot. They call it the Gem and Mineral Show, but it's actually Earth Science Clubs, I
Okay.
believe, isn't it?
Mhm.
I think that's the way
Yeah.
they've corrected me several times on. Now, in the literature, they said they're going to have jewelry and lapidary, crystals, fossils, door prizes, special school displays, hobby demonstrations, dealers, retail, wholesale, a large swap area, movies, slides, lectures. This is just going to be a really big show this year, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody comes out and they have a real good time. They got all kinds of dealers from all over the United States comes there with their jewelry and lapidary work and stuff, and plus the fossil collection we've got. But they ought to come out and see the show. It's real, you know, a lot of fun.
It
We
can
enjoy it.
really pique your interest in
Oh,
this
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a lot of
love
fun.
it, yeah.
We did a series last year on, I think we did 6 shows on different aspects of the club. So we really had fun doing that.
Oh
That
yeah,
was neat. Yeah.
But the only, we like rocks, but we like rocks a whole lot if they got a fossil.
There's a big difference, isn't
Right,
there?
there sure
I
is.
mean, now we've got just a little bit of time, so let's let Gary describe what he's got here in front of us.
Oh, he think he's a...
This is the one you did. They brought
Right,
another
yeah.
one out a while ago. Where'd it go to?
Oh,
There it is.
right here.
Now this,
This is a Mastodon Atlas, which the skull fits right in here, and just right behind, you know, the main part of the skull fits here. And anyway, the way I found this one here, it was just a little bit of the bone right here was showing. And I started digging. It was at an angle like this. And when I started digging, the whole thing, you know, just kept getting bigger. That's what's exciting about, you know, fossil hunting, is, you know, sometimes you just don't know how big the fossil's going to be until you get it all uncovered or unearthed. Yeah.
you're not going to say how many rocks you found.
Oh, yeah, we found lots of rocks. Yeah, a lot of rocks.
Our wives find blocks of rock.
Oh, now wait a minute.
Yeah, every time my wife goes to the river with us, I at least carry 20 pounds off every time we go.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that's-
got a
Love
nice
rocks.
rock garden.
Sure. A lot of pretty rocks on the river.
Well, we've got to wrap up, and I really want to thank you for bringing this down. It was really exciting. Gary, we'll see you at the show.
Right, yeah,
Right,
we'll be there.
okay. Clotis, we'll see
Yes.
you. Maybe Dr. David will even be down
He'll
at the
be
show.
there.
He's
That's
usually
where-
been
in
there.
fact, that's where I met David Easterly, was at the Jim Mental show about 3 years
Oh,
ago.
great.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to go. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you at the Mineral Show, too. Bye. See you next week.
A Bonner Springs man makes a very unusual discovery, a spectacular specimen, according to the experts. As Maria Antonia shows us, what he found is a big bone in the river.
It may look like a log to you and me, just another piece of debris like that strewn along the Kansas River. But when Clotis Hunt spotted it here in Kansas City, Kansas, a couple of weeks ago, he had a hunch it was something more.
Once I pulled it over, I noticed on the back side, it looks kind of like this. If you can notice, this is clearly a bone fragment.
Probably a shoulder bone belonging to a mastodon, a plant-eating animal stockier and shorter than the elephant. It was around thousands of years ago during the Ice Age.
As far as finding this type of bone intact in the Kansas River is very, very rare.
Hunt started finding a bunch of bones about 8 months ago, a moose skull, elk, bison, and it's all because the drought has kept water levels low.
This enables us to go out and find objects such as this that is normally under the water and has been underwater for, I'd say, thousands of years.
And this may be his best find so far.
It's probably going to be in the Hunt collection, I would say, for quite some time.
Maria Antonia, KMBC 9 News.
On 41 and NBC, you saw the magic of movie making turn the monsters of the past into the giants of Hollywood. Paleontology, the study of fossils, has enjoyed a renaissance thanks to the movie Jurassic Park.
If you or your children are now inspired to go fossil hunting, meteorologist Jeff Ray trades his weather hat for a dino cap to let you know how. He joins us in the newsroom to let us know just where to look. Jeff?
Jim, if after the movie tonight you are in the fossil finding mood, good news if you live in this area. You don't have to go too far into the past, and you don't have to go too far away.
So what do you got down here?
Well, we have quite a bit of fossils dating back to the last ice age.
Clotis Hunt searches the past in his hobby of the present. A search that requires lots of shelf space.
This is going to be an ulna, which is the front leg bone off of a mastodon. We started in 1988. I've been hunting ever since. Yeah, that's another mastodon tooth. You can also put that up there and see the resemblance.
Clotis has 2 rooms full of fossil treasure, and every piece has a story to tell.
First day on the river, we found this bison skull cap.
Clotis went from fishing to fossil hunting 7 years ago. Sometimes he can't even believe it.
Jeff, I want to show you one of the best finds that I found. Here we have the world's largest mammalian land carnivore humerus ever found on planet Earth.
This world record leg bone is from the giant short-faced bear, the T-Rex of the Ice Age. It's these treasures that keep him wanting more. Clotis flies the Kansas River between Bonner Springs and Clinton Dam on the weekends. The stretch of river is one of the world's best places to find Ice Age fossils.
There's something right there.
So what do we got here?
We got a backside of a, looks like a bison skull.
Okay.
And this would be the lower part of the back of his skull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks like a rock, but that's a horse tooth.
Clotis looks for sand beds. The river has eroded down to the rock bed, a sign of the ancient river. When to look is as important as where.
Every time the river comes up and goes down, you're not guaranteed to find something, but your chances increase. That's going to go back probably to the Ice Age. That's going to be a bison.
Well, let's wash it off.
I kind of wonder what your friends think, like who knew you 10 years ago, and all of a sudden they hear you talking about osteology, and you pull a bone out of mud, and you can tell where it's from. And did you know anything about this stuff?
I knew absolutely nothing.
His hobby has turned him into a man of science, knowledge from the present used while walking the bone beds of the past.
Well, we had a pretty good day.
On the
Now, this won't be a good week to go look for fossils on the Kansas River. The annual spring rains have put the river back to almost bank full. But that's also good news. The additional water flow means additional erosion of the sandbars. So as soon as that river goes down, you'll see about a dozen fossil hunters looking for their ancient treasure.
Now, Jeff, if folks are out there looking for fossils for the first time, how will they know whether they've got a real fossil or just some animal bone?
Well, Jim, the best thing to do really is to take your finds, put them in a box, drive over to Lawrence, take them to the Museum of Natural History there. The dinosaur experts, the fossil experts there will be glad to pick through what you got and tell you what you got.
All right. Fascinating series. Thanks. Jeff Ray in the newsroom.
What this is a 1992 Gem and Mineral Show at Greater Kansas City. This is the Kansas River fossils put on by Clotis Hunt and Gary Hunt, and Jerry Ashburger, Kathy Hunt, Patty Hunt, and Donna Ashburger and their family. Show just opened today. This is Friday the 13th. Over there to our left, you can see the TV going, and we have newspaper articles and various articles about the Ice Age mammals that existed back 10,000, 15,000 years ago. Those two bison skulls you see with the TV are Ice Age bison. They're called bison antiquus. We've got school kids coming in now. They're coming in about a droves, about a busload. What we have here is Dad behind the counter, doing what he can do to help. What they're looking at right here is Indian artifacts, axe heads, spear points, Indian bone tools, various things. In a minute, I'm going to go down to the other end as soon as it's not so crowded and come on down and try to explain everything to everybody, just exactly what they are.
You can see the movie from the Little City, far in the Central Aisle to the north. Central Highway 2, Gemstone Pearl.
This is a 10 1/4 inch blade that Gary found last summer on the river. It's very rare.
Arrowheads. I can't see. These were arrowheads.
Rock, you just can't find them out. Rock bed. That's safe for it's no quick, man. Except down here at the mouth of the draw.
Look at those two. Man, that's one too. So look. Mastodon too. Look at these two. One too. What is that? A tooth. Mastodon tooth. A tooth? What kind of tooth? Remember the big furry elephant? Dinosaur? That's a tooth. Let me go buffalo here. Look at the buffalo teeth. These are teeth too. What is that? It's a part of the
What do you think about the show? You like it so far? Do you?
That's only big. That's my head and my stomach put together.
You get it, Bob.
When we come in here.
Wholesale owners, stand up pretty close. Wholesale dealers only.
I'm starting. People.
You have to be a wholesale dealer.
Is that what you get that? Get that camera out of here.
That's what they do. Single player.
This is the Kansas River fossil display, the Hunts and the Ashburgers. We're starting down on the north table, and what you're looking at now is a mantle made out of red granite. Found that a couple of years ago, and on the way to the show yesterday, we had it in Dad's trailer. You see that big old crack down the middle that broke. On the top side, you see another mantle, which we found in the river. Over on the left, we have petrified antlers. Calamite tree, which dates back about 150 million years ago, if you want to believe that. I especially don't believe it, but it's okay. And what's particular about this fossil is that we have a fossil and a fossil right here. You can see where it bored in, and it's embedded inside this tree, and it probably bored in when it was still green or rotten. And then we have some nutting rocks, petrified tree, and here we have a bison skull that they've taken a picture of, actually the way they found it in the water. Okay, and then that's it right there, about in the position that you see there in the picture. The Ashburgers found that. Here we have a bison jawbone right there. Here's a bison antiquitous, which Gary found. Well, I'll take that back. I think Jerry Ashburger found that one. If you'll notice the picture there in the background, that's them pulling it out of the water. That's Jerry Ashburger and Eric. Here we have another bison antiquitous, which is probably the largest that we've found so far. Actually, Jerry Ashburger found this in the Kansas River. And by the way, all of this fossils came from the Kansas River. Now, here's the one Gary found right here. It now belongs to me. And there's a picture of Gary just pulling it out of the water right there. Here we have bison hump bones, which make up the humps of the bison, which would be right here. They vary in size. And there's another bison skull that Jerry's found, and he's fixed up the jaw bones underneath it. You can see it right here, which is quite impressive. And this is a bison scapula, shoulder blade, right here. And on the picture, this is where that would go on the bison skeleton. There. Now here's a unique find that the Ashburgers found, because right in the center of the forehead, you can see it right there, there's a hoof print. And we believe that this animal has fell down at one time and another bison has stepped on his head. And according to the paleontologist, Dr. Martin at Lawrence, this bison did survive that. And there's another picture. Over to the left, you see the stag moose, which is now extinct. This is probably the largest stag moose skeleton found in the state of Kansas. And here is another one to the right. It doesn't go to it, but the Ashburgers found partial horns for it. And here you see Kathy and Gary. And this is all that was showing of the elk right there. It's the base of the skull. This is all that was showing right here when Gary found it. And after he dug it up, well, that's what he come up with right there. It's probably an Ice Age moose, what they call the Pleistocene period. And this picture right here is the elk after they pulled it out. And right in front of the elk, you have elk jaw bones. Now these jaw bones particularly don't go to this elk because they could have gone with any elk. We're just showing it as a comparison. And this is an elk bone. And here's another elk that Gary's found. He found that last fall. Here's a case that the Ashburgers have put together. In this upper left, you can't read it too good on the camera here, but that's a peccary jaw. And in the center is your wolf jaw. Lower right will be a deer jaw, giant beaver teeth. They got to be about 6-7 inches long. And these are some giant beaver teeth right here. And in the back, you'll see a giant beaver skeleton. It's not actually the skeleton, but it's a cast of a skeleton. You see the giant beaver to the right, and then to the left is a modern beaver. Now these are some muskox. These are muskox vertebrae. These two on the right, and this is a muskox vertebrae in the center. This muskox skull here is the 24th found in the whole continental United States, recorded finds. And I found this back in, I think it was last October I found that, or September, somewhere, last fall sometime. And here's a picture of what a muskox looks like, called woodland muskox. Gary also found one. There's only been 3 found in the state of Kansas. Gary found number 2 and I found number 3. Down in the lower front, you see a baby muskox skull. This would be the horn, and this would be part of the skull right here. And here we have mammoth or mastodon kneecaps. Okay, this is a giant ground sloth femur, I believe it is. Gary found that, took it to the university, and they preserved it for him real good. And those vertebrae you see to the left there, those are giant ground sloth vertebrae. And to the left of them are giant ground sloth ribs. And here we have either mastodon or mammoth ribs. And you can see Jerry there in a picture in the background holding up one of them that he found. Here we have mammoth or mastodon vertebrae. Here we have another mammoth or mastodon rib. We've got another mammoth or mastodon vertebrae, dorsal vertebrae I believe it's called. And here we got a picture of Gary holding one of his atlases that he found. Found that last summer on the river. I don't know if it's mammoth or mastodon, I really can't tell. I believe this is mastodon, and I believe that is mammoth. And to the left here we have a picture of one of the atlases that Gary found. We've done already dug around it a little bit, but that is in the position, or situ if you want to call it, the way it was laying when he found it. Here we got tusk sockets that I found last October. And what they are is this part of the skull right here that you have in orange. I had a professional come the other day and he seemed to think that might be a shovel-nosed mastodon. We're not sure because it's not been positively identified by a paleontologist as yet. This is part of the pelvic of a mastodon or a mammoth. And to the left of that you have the mammoth or mastodon tailbone. That's this right here. And you got a smaller one here. Then you got a sternum which connects the ribs. And this right here is an upper mastodon. It's a young adult mastodon upper palate. If you can see over here to the left, you can see where the tusk was. It came out right here. And right here is where the teeth used to be. These are the roots from the teeth. Probably what happened was ice or wood coming down the river has knocked those loose and knocked the teeth out. I wish that they would have stayed in there. And if you'll see right here where I painted in orange, you can see that portion of the mammoth or it's a mastodon lower part of the skull. And here is a picture of Jerry holding, I think, a femur mastodon or mammoth. And behind it is a femur off of a mastodon or mammoth that the Ashburgers found. And I believe this is the end of a femur that Gary found last summer. It connects right in with that scapula, which weighs 65 pounds. And in this picture right here, you can see that I have painted it in yellow. This is what the scapula is. It's this portion right here. Okay, here we have a case of various mastodon and mammoth teeth and some tusks. I'll start right here. Here we've got a baby mastodon upper palate. It is the same animal as that upper palate right there that I was showing you earlier, you know, where the tusk came out, except it's bigger. Okay, now behind here we have a adult mastodon tooth, which the Ashburgers found. And right here we have a young adult mastodon tooth with bone still intact to it. And here we have a tip off of one of the tusks that Donna Ashburger found. And here we have pieces of ivory that the Ashburgers, I think, have found. No, I think it might be Gary's. Here's bison teeth. And here's something interesting. We have a young, what did I say, a baby mammoth upper palate. These are the teeth here. And then behind it is an adult mammoth tooth. which weighs 11.5 pounds. Okay, I've gone through the whole display, and this is from the Kansas River fossils, all found in Kansas River back 10 years ago up to the present, found by the Ashburgers and the Hunts.
Okay, and his father's never put their Harris also. Mr. Harris, I think, third.
That's the only thing I like.
Here's a case that the Ashburgers have put together. See if I can hold it up.
I think they call
Okay,
his
in
dad.
the lower right-hand corner, that is a plate off of a mammoth tooth. This will be bottom center is a bison tooth. To the left there's a bison tooth, and that's a dire wolf jaw. And above the dire wolf jaw is a giant ground sloth claw. And those teeth above up there on the very top are peccary teeth.
People call him up and go out there.
Well, listen, thank you very much.
You know,
Okay, thank you.
no luck. You haven't seen him yet, but the farmers and stuff have seen him. I think he did see one.
This is Clovis and Kathy's case they put
But anyway,
together.
he's got a photograph, but he's planning on getting one.
Here's me and Kathy's
He's doing this.
case for
talking with you
the
too. Now, bye.
points that we found. And here's Gary's case. There's the big boy. And there is the dude that found it right there. Good find, Gary. Good
Thank
find.
you. Appreciate it.
And also down here we've got a large case that some of the Indian artifacts that Gary and his wife have found. And down below here we've got a case that Gary has put together with various Indian artifacts. And most of them I believe are bone tools that Indians have made to work their raw hides. And this over here is an axe. That's some Indian pottery over here. And this is a showcase that Kathy has put together for me and her. Various Indian artifacts. In the back you can see the pottery that we found. This piece right here is part of a bone that we believe is off of a mammoth or mastodon that they had shaped into a tool for some reason. We don't know what they used it for. Well, that's it. It's kind of slow right now. It's 4:45. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. That sounds familiar.
Okay, when are we going fossil hunting?
Wherever you want to go.
We're ready.
All right.
Well, we got to have a ride on that airboat. I can see that coming.
We can handle that.
That's what's fun.
The 1992 Gem and Mineral Fossil Show, Kansas City, Missouri. It's about 20 minutes till 10, a little bit before it opens. We have from the end of this table right here about 72 feet altogether. All the way up there where you see the corner. Al?
Okay, just show them the points and stuff here.
We have a McDonald's.
Get a picture of my grandson me because I'm going to give him a personal tour myself.
Okay.
And they float down the river until they hang up onto this.
You?
hit Austin over here. He's not even on VCR yet.
There's another little one.
Yeah, that's the tooth right there.
Look at those teeth. That's from an old dinosaur mouth. That's the tip off the tooth, ain't it?
Yeah, that's the tip off of the ivory tusk.
Is that one tooth?
That's one tooth.
Oh, that's a tooth.
Huh?
That's one tooth?
That's one tooth.
I mean, that's great.
That's the tip off the tusk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's great.
See, Austin, look up there.
It looks like two
These little dudes here, what are them out of?
Those are bison.
Oh, yeah?
Now this is bison here, and that's elk, and that's muscot. And these are bone or ivory or tusk chips.
Was there? Did we have much stuff in?
Day.
Well, I think that the whole show is great, and this has been the best part of the whole thing.
You'd like to go on the river sometime?
I'd give my right arm to go on the river.
Well, maybe we can take you someday.
I'd love it. Like I said, I'll try to flip the bill with you or something. I
Okay.
don't know.
What is your name?
I'm Brad Riggin.
Brad Riggin?
R-I-G-G-I-N.
Nice meeting you, Brad.
It was nice meeting you. I've loved this.
Sure glad you enjoyed our fossil display.
This has been the best display I've ever seen. I'm just tickled to death.
Is this the first time you've been to the Jim Mineral Show?
I've been to it one other time, but I didn't see this.
Was you here last year?
I didn't make it last year before I did.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you enjoyed the fossil exhibit.
Well, I tell you what, it's the neatest exhibit. I'm amazed. I'm just amazed by it. Totally amazed.
You be sure now watch the video before you leave.
I'm going to try if my wife doesn't rip my head off. I spent so much time here already.
She won't. Okay. The end of the 1992 Jim Mineral Fossil Show. We got about 25 minutes and the show will be over, and we're going to have to pack all of it up and go home till possibly next year. Just wanted to come up and try to get a video of our display before we take it down. And right here is where it ends. And it runs all the way up to the corner. Right there, where you see the TV. That's our display, video display. Runs all the way down, but we got 72 feet of it, I believe, this year, and I think if we come back next year, we might have 100 feet. It ends here, so maybe next year we might even get all the way down here to the corner.
It's a good show.
What's your name?
Steve Faulkner.
Steve, you work for Kansas City Reserve Police?
Yes, I do.
That's great. Things going pretty good this year as far as security?
Not too bad.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been a good crowd.
What'd you think about the Kansas River fossils?
I think it's one of the best displays at the show.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
We're going to have a show in Lawrence next month, 11th and 12th. You might bring your family out.
We might have to do that.
You'll probably see some more fossils around, but most of it is going to be probably already exhibited. What you've seen here, you'll probably see there. It's going to be a smaller show, but we're glad you enjoyed our presentation this year. You was here last year too, wasn't you?
Yes, I was.
That's good. This is the 1993 Jim and Mineral Show. Get it going, Clyde?
Yeah, I got it recording now.
Hey, Gary. The zoom is right there on your finger.
Yeah, I think I've got it zoomed all the way back, but when I need to still haven't got the whole picture of the bear in there. Probably picking up all this sound too.
Gary, Dave, my brother, the Hunt brother, my grandson. Okay, that's good. Wave at us.
Hi, Austin.
Hold him up by the bear's head.
Justin, be careful. Clotis is right here. Oh, look, she's getting a picture over there.
Yeah, that's good. Real good.
Grandpa wants in there.
Uh-oh. Wave.
See the lights. Awesome.
Yeah.
You mind walking over here just for a moment? Thank you. Sorry that we have to place it. That's what we're back for. You know we can place more or less on the still.
I'm on the Kansas River. Yesterday afternoon at about 2 o'clock, the 3rd of October, I was walking along the edge of the river here, and I happened to see a bone sticking out from underneath the water about 3 inches. So I started digging on it, and I ended up which appears to be a giant cave bear bone. And you can see my stick up there. That's the place where I found it, right in the rock bed, sand mix. And the humerus of that giant cave bear is in perfect condition, which tells me that it's not rolled in the river too much. So today I thought I'd come back down and I'd do a little scraping around, maybe come up with another one. That's where it was, right there, about 3 inches under the water. River's down pretty good today. It's dropped probably 2 or 3 inches last night. I'm just making a sweep of the area. The sandbar that we're on. It's a pretty good sized bar. I'm gonna go down there now and do a little bit of scraping. Yesterday I didn't have my camcorder. I wish I had. You know, it always happens that way. But maybe here in a little bit I can find something else and then I'll have my camcorder. Well, what do you think about this place, Clotis?
Well, it's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
We're up Junction City, just right below Big Red 1 water tower. I'd say we're probably 20, 25 miles from the truck.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few rock bars we never went over.
Yeah. Best hunting's yet to come. We're getting ready to turn around now and go back. Get a few good bars that we've seen coming up. That was our plans in the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to go up that big water tower and then turn around, head back towards the truck. It's about 12:25 now. Try not to spray you now.
Okay. Yeah. Show me. I'm sitting here on a boat. Is it complete?
Yeah, talking at the top a little bit.
I can twist my neck so far, Clotus. I can twist my neck so far. How do you quit flashing? Huh?
That feels better.
You got that, Gary?
You got a complete scapula you just found a minute ago. You had to go change your battery out in the old camera so we could take a movie of this.
Looks complete, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. No, top. It's there.
It's all there, isn't it?
Yeah. There it is.
Bison scapula.
Party one, ain't it?
What we just found here is looks like a bison skull. Gary, reach down there and pick that up.
Jaw, not skull.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a skull up there too. We think it's a bison skull.
Bison jawbone. One of the wonders of the Kansas River.
There's a skull.
What's left of it?
I think it's a cow, but Gary said it's a baby bison.
Yeah, baby bison. See, their skull ain't even began to develop on this little fella. Look at that. Once more.
Got another.
That's it right here, ain't it?
Yeah, you're in the. There we go. Go ahead and dig it up. See what it is.
Yep, coming up. See, there's the other end of it. Close to it.
Oh, it's coming out that way?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I see it.
Comes down like that. We'll pull it out. Clean it up. Nice one.
Is it bison?
Yeah.
We got here, we just found a shark's tooth. It's a pretty good sized one. See her right there?
That's the largest one I've seen taken off the river.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size.
I'll let Jerry and Donna. I don't think their tooth is that big. Might be.
Got a elk antler, tine.
Yeah.